Morning everyone and welcome to the next Art with Holly session. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll just give it a few more minutes and then I think we're going to start. Whenever you're in, just message in the comment section on the bottom left hand side if that's okay. I'll start by just showing a few things that we've made over these few sessions. So at the moment, all through April, we've been working on Easter crafts, so Easter themed, Easter related activities. So these are just some that I quite liked actually. So we've got our hanging bunny and Easter chick, like hanging decorative pieces, which I really enjoy these ones actually. We've got our card bunny holders to collect Easter eggs just by using the cut and paste technique and again folding. So that was a really good activity to do. We've got our little pop-up card that we've done here. And then we also have these from last week. Some rocking kind of 3D standing cards, which again were really good. Now today is the last Easter craft session. So today we've got a bumper workshop. We've got three activities that we're going to be doing. So the first one will be our Easter egg collage. And then we've got another standing card, which I'm looking forward to doing. A different kind of approach. We've got some standing pieces and it'll fold a different way. So a slightly different folding card that you can make. And we're also making some chic hand puppets that you can kind of hold, which is going to be really fun. So I'll start with this, and I know that I mentioned about a new project launch, but I will talk about that at the end of the session if that is okay. So I think we're going to get started. Now as soon as you're in, just message in the comment section if that's okay. And we're going to start first of all by making our Easter chick collage. So I am just going to get an orange or a yellow piece of card just as my background on my surface. Now this is quite unusual for me to work on a coloured material to start with, so that should be really interesting. So I'm just going to move my pieces of cards to the side. I've just got an A4 piece of yellow card, but again it's up to you as to what colour and what material you go for. So we're just going to start first of all by cutting out the Easter egg shape. I'm going to be cutting it freehand I think, but if you would like to then just use a marker or a pencil or something just to get the outline first. So we're just kind of wanting, this is very rough kind of cut, but we're wanting something like this for the bottom of it. And then you're wanting the zigzags at the top, so the jagged bits at the top of the Easter egg. I'm going to peel this bit off and then cut like that. Yeah, so it should look something like this. So again, your Easter egg can look however you want, but that is the rough shape that you want to go for. So for our design, we're wanting a base, and then we're wanting another bit that will come off the top. So I'm just going to trim this just to make it a bit more even. And then we're going to get another piece of pink card and use my technique of cutting around, and we're just going to place this template onto the pink card, and then we're going to cut around very neatly. So again, making sure that you're getting into those edges, and try and hold the template on the card as steady as you can do. There we are. So as we're doing 3 crafts today, I'm gonna probably have 20 minutes or so on each, and then we'll have a little bit of time at the end to explain what the next project is and kind of what I want you to do in prep for next Friday. So we've got our 2 Easter egg bits. So we've got the top and then we've got the bottom. I'm just going to start by cutting all the pieces out first and then getting it into place. Losing my words there. So we're wanting now the green for the grass. So now I'm going to go over to my green section. Now what I've done is I've colour coordinated all of my materials. So I've got foam and card and colour paper and tissue paper and loads of different shades as well. So again, that is quite a good thing to do, just to group all these materials. So I'm just going to start by creating like tissue paper balls and just torn pieces of green card and stuff. So I've got a mix of different textures going in there. So remember, we're wanting it to cover the base, so just the bottom of the design. So again, I got my tissue paper and I'm going to start scrunching it up. So here I'm using more of a brighter green, and then we've got some slightly lighter colours as well. So we've got a mix of pastel and then more vibrant colours, which is again really interesting, and it creates a bit more of a difference to the work. So I'm just going to go to my next colour. So this is more of a lime green kind of thing, and it looks really good actually on the bright background. There we are. And then it is up to you what you want to come out of the egg, but for me, I am going to stick with the chick theme just for this one. Oh, hi Stephanie, thank you very much for tuning in, for joining me. How are you? Are you okay? Are you at college today? So again, I'm working on more of like a pastel green as well here, just tearing bits up. So I'm just going to leave my pile of green bits here, and now I'm going to work on the chick. So as I've used quite a bright yellow for the background, I'm wanting a bit of a lighter tone for the design. Now I do have some pastel yellow as well. I do have some pastel yellow here that I could use, but it's tissue paper. So yeah, I might use this actually. Yes, I have had my hair cut. I had it done on Wednesday. Right, so tissue paper again is quite a hard material to cut. To just try and be patient with it. Right, so I'm just going to use the line at the bottom of the material just to guide me. Right, I'm just looking at how I've cut it before. So you kind of want the head to go over like that. So yeah, something like that can then tuck. Yeah, something that like this that can tuck behind the Easter egg. Oh, thank you very much. Now we're going to get our glue stick. So I've just got a Pritt stick here, and I'm just going to flip the egg over actually and stick the chick to the egg before I stick it to the actual work itself, I think. So I'm just going to flip it over and try and get it as central as I can. There we are. So we've got something like this. And then we're going to then glue the whole of it. So the egg and the tissue paper that we've just done. So just add a decent amount of glue. Just bear in mind that with tissue paper you can see through it slightly. I will reveal all at the end of the workshops, definitely. Thank you very much for showing an interest in it though. But I will tell you more about it at the end. So before we finish, I'll tell you what the new project is. I've got a few things to show and maybe what you can collect as well for next week, so that should be interesting. And I'm just going to stick my other half of the Easter egg. So I'm just going to glue a little bit at the bottom, and then I'm going to put it on a slight angle on the work, so not too much, so it kind of looks like it's closing. Now if you want, you can actually add more to this in terms of like the collage aspect of it. I'm just looking for some lighter things. I've got some foam actually here that I could use, maybe. There's like a circle for the head. Now the good thing about these workshops is you don't have to use the same materials as me. Feel free really to bring whatever you want to these sessions. Yes, it will involve you getting a little bit messy, but hopefully not too much. Just going to trim this circle down a little bit. Just try and make it as even as possible. So again, just feeding it through your fingers and just making that a bit smaller. So that should be okay for the head for it, just so it stands out a bit more. And then we need a beak, and we need either a googly eye or some black paper or something. So what you use now is up to you, but I'm going to use for my beak some orange paper. I've just got some scrap material here, and then I think I'm going to use a black marker pen actually for the eye. I think it is quite an easy material to work with. There we are. So you don't want the beak too big, so something, yeah, something along the lines of this size. And I'm just going to roll it across the top of the glue nice and slowly, and then place the beak on the left hand side, but like halfway down, so it should look something like this. And then I'm going to get my black marker pen, and very close to the beak I'm going to just add a circle. So something like that. So far this looks very, very simplistic, very easy. And now we are going to start by adding our grass. So as you saw me earlier tear up and fold all of these little green bits of material, I'm going to go back to that, and I'm going to start sticking them down on the bottom of the design. And don't worry too much if you overlap the bottom of the Easter egg. That is totally okay. There we are. So feel free to make this collage your own as well. So I'm obviously just using collage type material, but feel free to add paints and everything. Now I do have some decorative things like sequins and some pens that I can use, so they will be coming out shortly. And as you know, all these videos get saved onto my channel, they'll get shared, and they will get posted onto YouTube. So if you know anyone that wants to join or has missed out, then please share that. And really anyone is welcome to these workshops. You know, they are for Unique Kids members ideally, but again, anyone really can join and just get creative. What am I doing today? I don't actually know. I mean, I haven't got past lunchtime yet, but no, I think this afternoon I'm going to be doing some sculpture work for my uni course, hopefully, which should be fun. So as you can see here, I am just kind of applying the green material in different ways, so overlapping it and making sure that there isn't a massive group of any one shade. So it looks very vibrant and different. So again, I'm just applying the glue to the green material, and you kind of want about 2 or 3 inches of it covered, you know, don't cover too much of the bottom of the egg, but again, if you want to cover a little bit, then that is up to you. And the good thing about this tissue paper is it makes it look 3D, you know, it stands out nicely, which again is really good. And it's easy to stick onto the surface. There we are, so I'm just gonna stick the rest of this down. Now it's always good to have too much of the material than not enough at all. So I've just got quite a bit of this out, but again, it can save if you don't manage to use it all. And think about layering as well, so maybe you want to just add some more of that material onto each other, then again, feel free to do that. There we are. So I've tried to make sure that my grass is roughly the same size as each other, like the same height and everything. I'll show you what I've done there. And now we can start either decorating it or adding some colour pens. Now I've got my pot of like reds and purples and oranges and greens. So I'm thinking of doing some stripes on mine. I have mentioned it, yeah, we are in talk about making them longer, Stephanie, so yeah, I'll let you know as soon as I know. But yeah, I would like that, hopefully, to make the sessions maybe even half an hour longer. That would be quite a nice idea. I mean, as we've done these little Easter crafts and the Christmas ones, we actually have started by doing like 2 activities in any one session, so possibly if we could make that a permanent thing, then that would be really good. But this new project that we're doing actually is an ongoing one over the course of a few weeks, so that should be really interesting, you know, a really nice way to develop something, and it will be quite large scale, hopefully, so again, that should be really good. But I will let you know after this workshop, or I'll let you know as much as I can tell you without spoiling the surprise. But I've got here some pinks, purples, blues and greens, and I'm just going to be doing either some zigzags or some waves and different things on here. So let's just have a look. Right, I'm going to start with my green, I think, and just do some kind of gentle waves on there. Now what I always like to do when I use pattern is use the first colour and then just cover it and then go on to my second one. I think that's quite an interesting thing to do. So just doing lots of waves at the moment. And then decorative material wise, I have obviously I've got paint for the other craft, but I've got things like sequins and pom-poms, lots of colour paper, and I do have some pipe cleaners. So again, I might add some sequins to the background of mine actually, because I haven't used much decorative material in a while, so I think that's something that I want to do actually. Yeah, that would be great. Maybe ask her if we can make the Art with Holly sessions even half an hour longer. That would be quite good. You know, I'll be mentioning about this new activity to her anyway. But yeah, that would be really good if you could mention or show interest in having the sessions longer, then we can definitely try and sort something out. And then my final colour, so I'm just adding lots of waves here. The final colour is a purple. So I'm just going to add a bit of purple in between. Don't worry too much if they overlap. And again, think about different patterns that you can use, so whether it's stripes or spots or whatever. So far I'll just show you what I have done. There we are. We've got lots of waves to decorate our egg. And now for the background, I think I'm going to go on to some sequins or something. Yes, if you want them for an extra hour, then we could try and do that. I just fear that 2 hours may be a bit long for some people, but for sure, if we could try and sort something out where we can find out everyone else's opinion, I can try and get it on a group or message around, then that would be really good. We could definitely try and make them longer than they are, for sure. I feel like an hour is just the right amount of time though, but I'll see what I can do, Stephanie. Hopefully we can make them a little bit longer, you know, coming into summer and everything. That would be really good. I'm actually in the process as well of planning some new activities ahead of when we finish our new project. So that should be really good. I've just got these like little bauble sequins. I know they seem very Christmassy, but they're just really just metallic circles, like sequin circles. And they seem to be sticking on quite well. So if you've got any decorative things like circles, like glitter, any more collage material, any sequins, any glitter glue bits or anything, then again feel free to add those on. Or you could use colour pens or paints or anything. So again, that is up to you as to what you use. I'll show you what I've done. So this is my first one. So as you can see, we've got the sequin circles at the back, and then we've got the egg here, and it looks like it's hatching. And then we've got the tissue paper, the colour paper, and we've used some pens on. And I've used some foam actually for this circle just to make it stand out against this yellow background. So this one was our first craft. So I hope you enjoyed that one. Right, we're going to move on now to our different style kind of pop-up cards. So this is a little bit different to what we've done before. So again, I'm going to get my white paper and I'm going to fold it over. So I'm just going to fold it over in half, pushing down on that fold. So you want to really make sure that the crease is as tight as you can get it. Possibly even use the edge of the scissors just to push down and again make it as tight as you can get it. And then we're just going to lift it up. So the whole point is the card's going to stand like this. So rather than it opening to the side, it's going to be a standing one. And you can do this with everything. It's not just this kind of craft. You can do it with any seasonal card, you know, and really make it your own. I'll mention it when I'm back. Oh, so you go there on a Tuesday and a Wednesday afternoon then? Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I've just mentioned that you wouldn't mind or you would like to have the sessions a bit longer and see what she says. I mean, I have mentioned it before, but we need to really get other people's opinion on it too. But it would be great if we could have them a bit longer. Now I'm just going to get my piece of green card, and the idea is we want about 3/4 of the sky, of the top of it blue for the sky, and then we want in the base green and then a bit of this side green as well. So what I'm going to do, rather than cutting it down to size, is I'm going to get my glue stick and apply glue to the bottom of the card. So again, I'm just going to roll the glue across the edges and then a little bit in the centre. And then with us having the fold already, we can just slot the green card into place and then push down. Then that'll just secure it in that area. And then you can get your scissors, flip it over, and then where it kind of hangs over, you can just use the scissors just to trim the excess material off. So again, that is a really good way of covering a surface, especially if it's just only one colour. Otherwise it does take a bit of time to cut it down and get the size exactly right, and to make sure that you're covering all that white space as well. You know, you don't want any of the base showing, so that is quite a good technique to use. I think you've seen me do it a lot of times as well before in previous crafts. Right, so then we're wanting to go to our blue material. So I've got quite a bit here. However, I do quite like this colour, and it's A5, and it seems to fit perfectly on the card. So what I'm going to do is just cover the top bit and then a little bit of the middle. I am not too sure if Sarah and Christine are joining us today. Stephanie, I don't know if they're at uni kids now. I'm not too sure, but I know that they will be doing it on the screen, hopefully there. So they may be joining in today. Hopefully they are. But you've all been really responsive with sending in photographs and messages and thoughts on the workshop. So again, that is really good. But yeah, they might be joining or they might be watching on catch up, because as I said before, the video gets shared. So this live, after I've ended it, will get shared on Facebook. I am recording the session anyway, so you can watch after and view. So I'm just going to fold it over again just to make sure that the fold is still nice and tight. And then this is how it will look, and obviously it will hopefully stand up, fingers crossed. Now we're going to go to the next bit. So we want in the wave of the grass now here. So what I'm going to do is go back to my green material. And then on the shorter side, so on this bit down here, I'm going to add a wave. I'm just going to add some nice waves there. And that is going to be the top of the grass. So the idea is it'll come something like that, and then that's what it'll look like. If I turn it around, it'll look like some sort of meadow. So I'm just going to trim it again just to make it a little bit shorter, just so the material doesn't overhang. And you've got to keep slotting it in place down here. Yeah, that looks okay. Yeah, so something like that, and then that'll just cover that white space. So what I'm going to do is just flip it over, get my glue, and then I can apply it to the base of this green bit here. So you're going to get your card, and then the straight bit is going to go in the middle there. So when it folds over, it looks like this bit is connected. So if I just stick that down, and then I'll just turn it around. Now you can see that it looks like I've covered the whole of the card using one bit of material when I haven't. Now we are going to work on our little eggs on the grass. So for this, you can either use cut paper or you can use white paper and draw over it. That is really up to you. Now here I've got a little bit of pink material, and I've got quite a bit of this yellow that I've been using before, and some red that I could put on there. So again, I'm just going to cut some oval shapes, and they're going to be going onto the grass in different kind of arrangements and areas. So don't make them too big. And what you can always do is you can just cut one and then use that as a template for the other ones. So again, my one where I hold the template over the material, and then I can cut around. So you want in an oval shape, something like that. It's not too big, so you can fit quite a few on the material. So I'm now going to go to my yellow material, just open that out, and then hold the template, so hold my first cut over there, and then I can just trim around the side, and then that makes a duplicate, and also I don't have to freehand, free cut it again. I can just trim around one of them that I've already done. Feel free as well to make them different sizes. You don't have to stick with the one size of egg if you don't want to. So now you can see I've just trimmed around it, and then we've got 2 of them here. And then I'm going to go to my pink material. So I've got like a pink sugar paper material. So I'm just going to use that and hold the egg over and then trim around with scissors. There we are. So just trim really nicely around here. Now I'm really excited as well actually to show you the new activity and explain it, because collage is one of the things that I think we're focused on in our workshops. You know, a lot in summer we made things like nature box collages, you know, that open and closed. Again, with the theme of like recycling and using cardboard and things that you normally throw away. So I am really excited to show you and explain what this new activity is and what I want you to do. And also, we haven't had an activity before that spans over a few sessions, so again that should be really, really good. So I'm just going to apply some glue to the bottom of the eggs and then just place them on like a different angle on the surface. So again, just kind of sticking them wherever, so something like that, where it looks like they're kind of on an angle, leaning. And then I'm going to do the same with my red Easter egg too. Now what we're wanting to do is have some standing Easter eggs and then like a standing bunny. So what I'm going to do is make some flaps using this like off-cut green card material that I've got here. So we're wanting about 3 of the eggs and then 1 of the bunny. So I'm just going to trim that just so it's about 1 inch in width. So just try and cut as evenly as you can down there. And then I'm going to cut about 2 inches that way. And then what you can do is you can fold it over. Don't worry if it's not exactly in the centre. And then the base will stick onto the design. And then this will be the bit that will hold the Easter egg up. So I'm just going to push that down. And I'm going to make 3 of these little flaps. Again, using this material that I've cut. And then for the centre bit, which is the bunny rabbit, we're going to use a different one just because we want that to be bigger than all of the other ones. So I'm wanting a bigger flap just to make sure that it doesn't fall down. Okay, so we've got another one here where we've got a longer base and then about 1 centimetre in height just to hold the Easter egg here. So I'm just going to make another one of those. So we've got 3 of the flaps. So again, about 2 inches in length. Don't worry if you know they're not all identical. Don't worry about that. But if you want to make them all the same size, then by all means measure them if you want. Okay, so I've just done this. And now we're wanting some more Easter eggs for our little flaps. So I'm going to make them smaller this time than the ones that we've just stuck down. So I always find it easy to go for the corner of the material, just so you're not wasting it. And if you're going for smaller bits, maybe look for offcuts that you've got first. You know, from my workshops I have a lot of offcut material that I cut into or I didn't use. So again, something like that, so you can see that they're a little bit smaller than the ones that we've done before. Now I'm going to go for the same colours as well, just because I think it looks quite good, you know, in the background, and then you've got the ones that are slightly smaller in front. I do think it looks good. And also these are bright colours that I'm using against the slightly darker green and blue from the grass and the sky. Or you can use white card and then decorate them yourself. So just think about how you can make this craft your own. I'm just going to trim gently around. So I've got another one here. And then I'm going to go to my red material and just trim off a corner and then get the template, place it on the material and then hold it very steady and just trim around as close to the edge as you can get it. You know, they won't be exactly the same size, but they'll be, you know, roughly the same shape and everything, and close enough in terms of scale. It's just a really easy way to make, you know, a duplicate of something. If you wanted something identical or to look very, very similar, then it's an easy way to get around it. So now we've got our 3 eggs and we've got our 3 flaps. We're just wanting to glue the bottom of one side of the egg. Just add a little bit of glue. And then the shorter bit of the flap, you're just going to place the Easter egg onto that. And then hopefully you should end up with something like this, where it looks like it opens and closes, and the Easter egg is being held onto that. So again, very 3D. And they stand up as well, which is good. And then do the same again for the other 2. So I've got my pink one here, a bit of glue on the bottom of it, get one of the flaps, the shorter side preferably, just because you need the bottom a bit longer just so it'll balance, you know, we don't want it toppling over or anything. Okay, and there we are, you can see it folds over and then it'll also stand up too. And then we'll do the same with our final one, which is the yellow one. So a bit of glue at the bottom and then stick onto here. And then now we've done this, what we can do is stick the bottom of the longer side. So again, open that up a little bit. Put some glue on the bottom of this green bit. And then stick it anywhere you really want on here. I'm going to put maybe 2 at the front and then 1 kind of in the centre. I'm going to go for my red one as well. So just remember it's the larger bit that hasn't been covered yet. So again, I'm going to stagger them a little bit just so they're all the same size. And as you know as well, I'm using the offcuts of the green material, which is the same green that I've used for this base here. So it looks like the eggs are just standing up and you can't really tell what the flaps are, which is good. There we are. So if you want to add more Easter eggs or different colours or whatever, then feel free. But this is what we have so far. Just make sure that also they fold down flat too, which is good. So I'm just going to push down there. Now these, with them being flaps, they'll just open and close nice and easy. You can put them on an angle, and then you've got the Easter eggs in the background as well, which is really cool. And if I just put something behind it, it will stand up quite nicely. So it looks like a little homemade DIY scene that doesn't take too long. You know, it could either be a card or it could be a theatre scene or a little puppet theatre or something. So it doesn't have to be a card if you don't want it to be. And now we're going to do the same again with our final little bit, which is the star of the show, the bunny rabbit. So you want a little bit of a bigger flap, I think, just because we want the flap to be roughly the same size as the rabbit and for it to hold up nice and easy. So I've got something like that, you know, a bit longer and a bit wider. And then I'm gonna fold it just over half, just so you've got the base, which will stick onto the card, and then this is the flappy bit that'll hold it up. And now I'm going to go to my offcut of card and then just try and cut out a bunny shape if I can. So don't worry about the bottom because that is what will connect the flap, so don't worry too much about trimming it and making it look nice and neat at the bottom. So you kind of just wanting like an oval shape that will come out. So think of it as like a character of some sort, and you can make it smaller as well. Don't think that you have to stick with this size. And then I'm just gonna make the head. and then add some ears on. So again, very similar to what we have done before in our previous Easter theme workshops. I'm just gonna okay, so already we can tell that the bunny looks a little bit lopsided, so I'm just going to trim the base of it and then just try and neaten up the ears just to make sure that every little bit, you know, for the ears and the head is roughly the same kind of shape. So again, you can just trim a little bit more of that body off. There we are. So you're really wanting the head to look as circular as you can get it. So again, something like that. And then we're going to get the flap, and then this is going to be coming at the front of it, or it can go at the back. I think we'll sew the back actually. So what we're going to do is just get our glue stick, and then the inside of the smaller flap we're just going to glue, which will then allow us to stick this behind. There we are. I'm just looking at my little demo that I've done before, and I've actually used an Easter egg at the front, so what I might do is just cut another one of those out just to place at the front of our design. But this time I've got a bit of a smaller circle and a brighter yellow that I'm using, so again I'm not using the same shade. And then I can just glue the bottom of this and then just stick it on nicely. And now for this next bit, you're wanting the pink for the ears, so I am going to draw and use my pens, I think. And then you're wanting the black for the nose and the eyes. So the inside of the ears should be the same shape but just a bit smaller. And then I can just colour those in pink. So something like that. And I'm going to go to my black marker pen. Where is it gone? It's over here. And just add 2 of the circles for the eyes. And then more like an ovally kind of shape for the nose. So it should look something like that. And then what you're wanting to do then is just open it out and then apply some of that glue to the bigger bit of the flap. So just try and cover as much of that as you can, and then place it in a little bit of that space there. I'm just going to push down neatly onto that. There we are, and then they'll all close if you want them to, so they'll all push down and flat down to be like a little card, and they'll also open up to be a little scene as well. So again, I hope you really enjoyed this craft. A really fun and kind of easy little scene to make. I'm just going to put that to the side. Our final craft is like chick hand puppets. And when I say hand puppets, I don't mean to wear, I mean you're actually using your hands to do some printing. So I'm going to use these 2 pieces of white card. And the idea is the puppet will be in the shape of a hand. You'll have some lollipop sticks as the base to hold. And then you'll have again the beak with colour paper, and then some googly eyes for the top. And if you want, you can add some legs or whatever to it, maybe some pipe cleaners or something. So I've got my 2 pieces of white card. Now what I'm going to do is just bring over my paint that I've done in advance and get my paintbrush. Now I am, well, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to print with my left. So I'm just going to get some, this is ready mixed paint actually from Baker Ross, you know, just it's not proper acrylic paint, so that should help. And I'm just going to get a little bit of it, roll my sleeve up, and actually apply some of that yellow to my hands. So again, think of the hand as a canvas or something. So what I'm doing is just making sure that it's all covered as much as I can do. So just cover all of that. So your hands should look something like that. And then we're just gonna press down. So that's quite a fast movement there. So you just want to press down and just make sure that every bit of the hand and the fingers has been put on. There we are. And then it should look something like that. And then I'm going to do another one where I've got my fingers open. So I'm just going to get my paintbrush again. Apply some more of the yellow paint. And this time I'm going to do one where my fingers are a bit open. So not closed, they're just more spread out. Yeah, so something like that. And then we're going to put that one to the side, and then I've got my second piece. This time I'm going to mix a little bit of red in, so I'm going to actually mix it on my hands. So I've just got to add a little bit on there, and then add some of the yellow. So then hopefully it should mix to like a nice kind of orangey colour, hopefully. That's the plan. There we are, so we've got like a deep orange kind of colour. And again, I'm going to do another one that's spread out. Just push down on the surface. And then I'm going to do another one that is a bit close together. I'm going to add some more paint. Some more yellow, I think. And just push down as much as you can. Okay, so we've got 4 of these handprint sets. If I just hold it up, I've got another one over there drying. Now what I would recommend now is just go in and washing your hands really quickly, and then we'll come back and add some decoration too, if that's okay. Right, so now what we're going to do is just trim gently around the handprint. So not leaving too much of the white against the edge, but just trim around really roughly, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Now I've got 4 handprints that I'm using. So I'm just going to separate that one. So each handprint is a puppet. And I'm just going to trim, leaving a little bit of the white for like a border. But again, keeping fairly close to the yellow detail. Now if you have things like feathers as well, then feel free to use them. Or anything else to apply some sort of texture to the piece. Right, so we're just going to trim them out so they'll look something like that. So I'm just going to do the same to my other 3 that I've got. And it's quite interesting because some of them were quite close together, and then some of them I've actually opened my fingers just so it covers more of the surface. So just keeping fairly close to the edge. And a little bit of a white border to the design. And then make the bottom of it as smooth as you can with the cut. So again, something like that. So I'm just going to carry on doing that for my other 2 that I've got left. Now if you look at the pieces closely as well, you can see all the like little lines from your hand as well. So again, that could be something that you could explore with like another art activity, like maybe like printing and hand painting or whatever. So I'm just going to cut those out as neat as I can. There we are. So again, something like this. So each of these, remember, is one of our puppets. And then after this, I'm going to start by adding the sticks on. And then we can do the eyes and the beak. And because we've got a series of these, we can just get each one to the same stage. Don't feel the need to finish any before moving on to the next kind of activity, if you like. I'm just going to trim that out, and then I'm going to go to my tape. So I've got masking tape and sellotape actually with me, so I'm just going to use, I think, some sellotape, and then I'm going to have a different coloured stick for each puppet. So I'm just going to try and find start of it if I can. Right there. Got loads of tape on rolls. Ow, that hurt. Right, so I'm just going to trim off the start of it, I think, just so I don't have any paint on. So I think for each one you're wanting about 2 strips of paint, not paint, tape, sorry. So I'm just going to go to my sticks, and I've got one of each colour, so I'm just going to get like a red. Okay, they've all fallen on the floor. I'm going to get a red, a green, a blue, and then a yellow. I'm just going to get them out of my shoe as well. Right, so I've got my sticks here, and then I'm going to go to each of the puppets' hands. And remember that the paint is wet, so what I'm going to do is stick the tape onto the stick, like this. And then I'm just going to hold it kind of in place, and then roughly kind of push down, so I'm not getting my hands in paint. So I've got something like that. And then we're just going to do the same with the other 3. So again, have the stick, put some tape on like that, and then go to the puppet hand. And then where you haven't got paint, just try and push down on there. And then we're going to go back to the tape again, and then just trim some off. So again, 2 strips of tape for each puppet, I would say, just so you've got, it just doesn't move, you know, you just don't want it to move and come off. And this is a really cool idea. It actually reminds me of a project that I did in summer, with puppets actually, called Make the March. It was more of a community kind of environmental project. So yeah, you can really make anything using this idea, like the idea of like a pop-up thing that we've done before, in the craft before, and then we've got things like puppets and different things. So you can really make anything just using that kind of template, that idea. So again, just push down. Now this is a nice and easy way to make a puppet. But again, feel free to experiment with materials and different kind of processes and whatever. Now that I've got all these, so now I've got, I'm trying to hold them up. There we are, I've got some hands there. I'm going to move on to finding some googly eyes and getting my beaks ready. So I'm going to use some off-cut orange material. Just found a little bit here. And you're wanting a little triangle, an upside down triangle for the beak. So you want just 2 cuts. Something like that can just stick on. If you want, then you can cut around it, but because it's quite an easy thing to cut, I'm just going to do it freehand, I think. So again, you want in 4 of those. And these are quite easy things to kind of make, so again, you can make a series of them fairly quickly, which is good. And again, you can add more materials to them if you wish. So I'm just going to go to my glue, try to get it off, and then just roll the orange material into that, and then just stick it down. So just stick that kind of in the middle, and obviously above you need the eyes, so just be mindful of that. And then just stick it on there. Now you can wait for them to dry if you want, but if you add enough glue, then you don't need to. There we are. So I'm just pushing gently down on there. Right, we are near to the end, and then I'm gonna get some googly eyes. So now I need 8 googly eyes. Trying to get them all a similar size. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, yeah, 7, 8. Right, okay, so I've got my googly eyes here. So I'm just gonna take it and then just kind of roll it along the glue at the top. And then place it and then just place it down onto there. And then again, just roll it over there and then push down on the surface. There we are. Just make sure that you add enough glue to this one. There we are. So just keep doing that just until you've managed to get all of the eyes onto the craft. And we are just going over 11, so I'm just going to show you what we've made. Okay. Right, so today, yeah, like I mentioned before, was the last Easter craft session. So we've had like 5 weeks or so of making different things. I'll just show you again some things that we've done. So we've got things like standing cards, you know, like collage kind of cards, rocking cards. We've got some hanging kind of decorations that I've done. Got another one here. And then I've got some bunny holders that again were quite really good to make, you know, just using cut paper. So the cut and paste technique and different materials. So from these workshops I'm really getting you to think about using different materials, different colours, and yeah, just really thinking about the idea of process and material. And then today we've made, to start off with, our Easter egg kind of themed sequiny collage. We've got our very simplistic pop-up kind of card that I quite enjoyed making, actually. And then we've got these really cool chick hand puppets, and you can see the little eyes there. So I've got, see if I can hold them all up. I've got 4 of these here. So again, really fun crafts. For fairly quick, actually, you know, we managed to make 3 different things within an hour. So again, that's brilliant. And thank you so much for your kind of response and sending in photos and the feedback that I've been getting. So again, thank you very much for that. Right, we're going to move on to this next little project now. It's starting next week, so next week, and it'll last a good few weeks of May. I will be posting more about that on the info either today or tomorrow at some point. But it will be running on Zoom, and I'll again send out like the links and whatever for that. But what I'm asking you to do, it's called Card Build City. So obviously the emphasis being on card and cardboard and recycling. So what I'm asking you to do for next week and the upcoming weeks is collect things like cereal boxes, toilet roll tubes, kitchen towel tubes, things like that. So just collect packaging of some sort. So cardboard packaging, anything like that really. And I'll show you something that I have actually done as part of my uni project, which seemed to tie in really well with me planning this project actually, is I've made a little cardboard city using, again, corrugated cardboard, cereal boxes, just packaging that you throw away. So really thinking about the idea of transforming materials and, again, the idea of repurposing and recycling, so just focusing on that. And yeah, it's called Carville City, and each week we're going to be focusing on things like making a road, or making buildings, or making vehicles, and hopefully they're going to be painted. So I'll again put out a little materials list, but hopefully they will be painted or something. That would be really great. So what we'll do for next week is I'll put all the info out, and then please join me on Zoom and just bring whatever you've kind of got with you. So we'll just see how we get on. But the aim is we're going to have each a large scale, kind of like a board game size city, just using cardboard and packaging to make buildings. So I hope that sounds really good. If you've got any questions, please do message me about it. I'll be putting all the info out, so hopefully a lot of you can join me for that. But thank you very much for joining today. It's been great. I've really enjoyed it. And remember, today was the last Easter craft session, so yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it, and just keep sending in any crafts, any feedback, any ideas that you've got. But until then, I will see you all next week, and I hope you have a good weekend. Bye everyone.